I now recognize this gentleman from the state of Georgia, Representative Carter, for 5 minutes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Ms. Dunn, for being here. I appreciate it very much. This is a very important subject for all of us. Let me ask just a couple of broad, simple questions to begin with. Since the Toxic Substances Control Act was passed in 2016, what kind of a extra authority has it given EPA? I mean, you have some explicit authorities as a result of that. Can you explain those to me very quickly?
Yes, it's a very powerful law. It puts us on a very aggressive time frame to look at chemicals. Some of the things we're most proud of, we've just completed an inventory of chemicals in the United States. It was estimated that there were over 83,000 chemicals in commerce in the U.S. We have checked with the manufacturers and importers, and we just announced and finalized that the list is actually half. It's about 40,000 chemicals in commerce in the United States. So we cut the list in half. That cuts our workload in half. But we have to, bit by bit, work our way through that list. We're starting with the chemicals on the 2014 TSCA work plan. We are starting with the first 10 chemicals that we've been talking about today, include asbestos. We have already named 20 high priority chemicals that we are going to start looking at next year, as well as 20 lower priority chemicals.
Right. And certainly this is important for a number of reasons. Particularly in my district, I assume that a lot of these go through ports and seaports, and being the home of two major seaports in coastal Georgia, this is extremely important for us. So our constituents are very concerned about this and about the work you've been doing. Now, it's my understanding that you're currently reviewing the use of asbestos.
We are.
And that you're going to be releasing your draft findings soon. Do you know when that'll be?
We anticipate it will be, I will say, before the end of the late summer. We have a scientific review panel that has to review it, and most of those individuals are academics. The best time to get academics is when they are not teaching classes, so we want to make sure that that information is available for them to meet and review in June, July, and August of this summer.
Okay. Well, I think it's clear from the hearing today that none of us, want to see anybody harmed. We want protection for everyone. I'll be quite honest with you. It's my understanding the majority of asbestos is no longer being in production, is no longer in use. But is any? I didn't realize there were any forms of asbestos out there.
There's only 5 ongoing limited industrial uses of asbestos in the United States today. It's in manufacturing. All of the asbestos that's used is imported. So there is no ongoing asbestos mining in the United States anymore. And that's something that would be covered by our activity that we took a few weeks ago.
Whoa, hold on. I don't mean to interrupt you, but you raised my concern here. If it's coming from out of the country, then we're not having any regulation over it before it gets here? Are we checking it when it gets here?
Well, any import of a chemical does have to be checked at the border.
But specifically asbestos, that's what I'm concerned with here.
As asbestos is coming in, what we are doing right now is a comprehensive risk evaluation of that type of asbestos in the uses that it is still being used in the United States, which is in the manufacture of brake blocks for oil drilling, automotive brakes, vehicle friction products, some gaskets, and a couple of chemical production.
Okay, specific to those that you just mentioned, what is EPA doing to guard against any problems there may be with those specific ones that you just listed?
Well, any imports of chemicals have to be handled with customs and border protection.
So you're grouping them into all chemicals, not just focusing on these that you just listed.
We manage the import of all.
Well, you see where I'm coming from. It would just appear to me that you would be more concerned because we know the dangers of asbestos. It would seem to me that you'd be more concerned with those than you would be for just generalizing them and putting them into a broad group.
Mm-hmm. No, I understand where you're coming from. Again, the manufacturers, those companies that are using asbestos in these limited applications certainly are trying to produce a high-quality product. They also have a business interest in ensuring that all the ingredients that they use are safe in how they're using them.
Oh, okay, I'm still a little concerned about that. So please, let's take that as being noted. I appreciate it. Thank you very much again for being here, and I yield back.